Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into the Rainmaker podcast. We come to you every single Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're talking to you, the life insurance agent that is looking to grow and excel at what it is that you already do. I've got a great guest with us here today, Matt Evans, and he's going to show you how to excel even more. Matt, how you doing, my friend? So glad to have you on the show. Thanks for being here with us, man.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. Glad we're doing it.
Oh, absolutely. It was such an amazing time to meet you. We met in Charlotte at 8%. And, what I remember, one of the things I remember most is our Bible study. And we talked about fear. And you lead the Bible studies at 8%, and it is something to behold. Just how everyone participates and gets up extra early.
Absolutely. But you know what everyone remembers about that Bible study is what you said. Everyone brings up what you said.
Oh my gosh. Well,
everyone brings up the
story. Well, that's a bit humbling. It's so funny. I've been talking to so many different people from 8%, and just talking about doing video. And it seems like so many of us that are on video are introverts, and so many people think we're extroverts, but we're not. But being able to share, but more importantly, being able to hear and experience other people's stories is what I find so much more valuable. And that's why I want to get into telling your story a bit here, as far as, your passion for being able to help the life insurance agents really go farther than probably what most even think. How did you come about with this whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it came about initially. My mom was a single mother, and she begged the owners of this company for a job, and it happened to be in the insurance industry. And I kind of learned the industry from there, and I just kind of loved ever since, kind of helping people see. I'm good at helping people see ideas maybe they didn't know were there, and I think we're going to talk about some of that today. And I just love, I never really liked when someone said you can't succeed if you don't know these people or that people. I really just love when we say anyone can succeed and how can we help, and we can show you 2 or 3 ways. And I know your podcast is all about that. So that's what I love, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is all so much more about giving and serving, and I know that you have that heart. And just being able to talk to you for the time that I already have. One, you're extremely intelligent, but you're extremely humble as well. Extremely knowledgeable, but you're not someone that is unapproachable, which I can completely appreciate with that. So many people want to talk about, how do I succeed in this thing of life insurance, right? How do I get to that next level? And so many times I think we're looking at one-to-one, and what we're going to get into is probably more one-to-many, where you can really reach that. And when I heard you talk about this when we were at 8%, it started opening my mind. It's like, no, I've never heard anyone say this. And when you talk about life insurance agents getting into banks, getting into credit unions, Matt, how do we do this? Where does this begin? And what does an agent need to have in place in order to just begin?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in order to just begin, you have to realize anyone can do it. A lot of times people think, I can't get into a bank or credit union. They have somebody, everybody's there. And the reality is we've talked to probably 8 or 9 banks and credit unions in the last 3 weeks that have nobody in there, from as small as 100 million to as large as 2.6 billion. So the first thing I think you need to realize is you can do it. Would I spend all my time every single week doing it? No. Is it a long process? Yes. Is it a very worthwhile process if you can land one? Absolutely. So really the question you need to be able to ask is pretty simple. You really just have to ask the bank, either the president or the CEO, or have an introduction to them, which I can explain how you can get that. The question really is, if you meet a president or a CEO, hey, if I could add bottom line revenue to your bank and it costs you nothing, would you be interested in having a 30-minute conversation?
Imagine that question, getting a no to that question.
Right.
Would
Right,
you like to add some bottom line revenue to your bank? Like that's their job to do that.
right. Yeah. And so a lot of people don't realize the potential in the banks and the credit unions because they're not thinking about the bank's customers. They're only thinking about the bank. So the bank has 10, 20, 30,000 customers and they do all the marketing for you. So if you're paying for seminars, if you're paying for leads, try looking for a bank or a credit union for 30 minutes a week. You'll be able to find them. And if you don't know how to find them, I can teach you, but it's really simple. We get in there. A lot of times people are afraid because they think I don't do financial planning, so I'm not going to even approach them.
Mm.
I can help you there. I can get you in. I promise you, it's not that difficult. But we get in because I can pay them 30% on the fee-based financial planning side, let's say, of all the revenue without them being licensed on the bank side. So they're automatically interested. And so from there, then we add the PNC, the life, the Medicare, the annuity, all of it. But we keep 100% of the fixed side. And so it's just a win win for everybody. And from the advisor standpoint, for an example, as a real life example, we have a credit union. It started at 300 million in assets. It's grown to 800 million in assets, and they will do approximately 600,000 in revenue just this year to the credit union.
Well,
And the advisor, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you teach this like in a course format, in a consulting format to life insurance agents? Like, how are you actually set up to basically disseminate this information to the agent that wants to know this?
Yeah, I'm obviously not as good at marketing as you are, but I teach it basically on the premise of the story you told, like who gets picked up by the helicopter first, the one that swims towards the basket.
Mm,
So maybe it's definitely isn't the best marketing plan, but from as far as like size and stuff, I look for people to raise their hand and say, "I'm interested. Will you show me what to do? Will you show me how to do it?" And I show them. And if they want to work with someone else, great. I'll still show you. I don't mind. We have an entire presentation here. I'll show you, built out just for banks.
oh my
And
gosh.
we go through the entire thing just for the banks, and we have everything from investments, PNC, Medicare, all of it. So
Now this.
I have the entire presentation made out that I would share with anybody. There are certain things you want to do and certain things you don't want to do when you approach a bank and how you talk to them and how you present to them. But I always ask them too, like, do you want to end up being like Toys R Us? Like
Mm,
Toys R Us sells a ton. They were a great store,
yeah.
but they did nothing to bring in any new clients.
Yeah.
And
The
so I say, go ahead.
Now, the whole process of this, and so many people that are in this industry of life insurance, they're we may have blinders on, right? It's like, especially when you look at how we're taught to do things, get some leads, call the leads. That's pretty much it. Get the leads and call the leads. Some people do try and do seminars like at certain types of, homes for the elderly, church groups, things of that nature. But it's not something that's consistently done. But what you're talking about here, if I'm understanding correctly, is that going into a bank is going into ready-made money, ready-made clients, and with ready-made, yes, I want to work with you because you're going to be a service not only to my clients as the bank CEO, but you're going to be bringing me bottom
Yeah.
line revenue as well. So what is like step one like of the
I would
plan here? Yeah.
I would say step one is to identify banks and credit unions around you that don't currently have a program. And that's really simple to do. All you need to do is look up the bank and you basically just look. So, do they have a wealth management division
Hmm.
or an investment division? If they don't, they're a lead. And a lot of them don't. And
Wow.
people are like, you know how it is. Everyone wants to get into a bank or credit union. They don't want to do the work. It literally takes me 15, 30 minutes to look up banks around here and credit unions. And
Wow.
if they're not sure how to do that and they want to contact me and ask and walk through it, I'm happy to do that too. But the first step is just to identify the lead. And then from there, after we identify the lead, we look on LinkedIn or Facebook or somewhere like that where we may have a friend that's a friend of the president or a
Hmm.
friend of a friend of a VP, and we try and get a warm introduction. And if you can get a warm introduction, we can go in there together if you wanted me to help you and basically present this whole thing uh, to the bank. And what's awesome is they usually have spaces where instead of paying for seminars, they're gonna put people in. We send out a mailing or an email and fill up a room of 20 people that want to learn about Medicare, and that's the value we bring to them. Is like,
Hmm.
what if we had 200 people walking through the bank doors during Medicare season, or 200 at tax season, or 200
Wow.
for so on and so on, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. So
Everything you're
they're all
saying
over it.
here, yeah, everything you're saying here, in my ears, it's like easy yeses, all the way around. And I want to get into exactly how folks can connect with you to even get this information in a bit here. But are these literally for life insurance agents, for people that sell IULs, for people that do annuities, financial planners? Is it the whole gamut of this?
Yeah, if you have the most important part is us getting a meeting with the president or with the bank. And if you can get a meeting with the president of the bank or the credit union, whether you're a fixed life only, an IUL only, if you're a fee-based financial planner only, it can all work for any of them because we can always find that one person to fill the role of whatever you may not be doing. But the awesome part is I can include you or show you how to be included in all the revenue no matter what. And so don't be afraid if you're not fee based licensed right away. That's usually what holds people back. Do not be
Hmm.
afraid because I can solve that problem for you. It's if you have the relationship, that's the most important part.
It is definitely. I mean, the relationships are a key factor in this. How, let's just say experience wise, or time in the life insurance industry, what would you suggest? Because I'm assuming this wouldn't be for someone that just started and got their license yesterday and now they're getting ready to sell life insurance tomorrow. What would that timeline look like in your estimation that would be best?
Yeah, I'd say a timeline as far as like how long do you need to be in the industry? Like, A, I would say if you have a relationship right away, let me know and let's start working it because we can still make something work. Now, could I put you in there and have you running all the meetings and things like that without the experience? Probably not. But could we find an experienced person who's maybe doing 50 grand that wants to make 250 and you earn part of that revenue as we learn? Absolutely. Why wouldn't we do that? And so I would say, experience wise, if you have a year or two under your belt and you have the relationship, you know, part of what we bring is our entire team has a lot of expertise in different areas as far as fee-based tax mitigation,
Hmm.
all of it. So we are part of the team if that's what you want, or if you honestly, it's not even a sale either. If you just want me to show you how to do it, I'll give it all to you. It doesn't matter to me.
It's yeah, I keep hearing you say this. I'll give it to you. And from a marketing and sales perspective, it's like I always have this hat on, right? But I've heard you say this multiple times in face to face, and you've said it multiple times on this. If you want this, I'll give it to you. So I'm going to ask for my own person: is there a cost to this? And if there is, I don't know the cost. Or are you saying I'm just going to give this to you?
Yeah, there's no cost. If you just want the presentation and you can do it all yourself, then I'm happy to help you. In the end, it all you know how it is. It comes back to us one way or the other.
Yeah.
But there's certain things we do in this presentation not everybody can do, and so you just have to take some of that out. But yeah, I'll give it to you. There's no cost. I'm not charging anybody. In the end, it's the same with you, Earl. You want to work with like really great people that you
Hmm.
love, that you really enjoy, and that's the same for us. So yeah, if you want it, my contact info will be somewhere. You call me and you can have it.
I'm going to make sure we put it in the description of this video, most definitely.
All right.
I just hope your phone doesn't blow up,
Yeah.
literally, from this. But it's kind of like you said earlier. I mean, everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. People want the outcome, but the work that's going to be involved with this, may seem a little daunting.
Yeah,
But for folks that want to go after it, it's just those folks that want to go after it that are going to actually succeed.
yeah,
Once you're in the bank and you've got the arrangements and the agreements all set up, what does it look like after that? It's like, are you doing, or would the person be doing like seminars in the bank, or
great
kind of
question.
explain that to us?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the second most important part is what do you do after you get in there? Like, you're
Hmm.
not gonna just sit around and wait. So what we do is we have systems where we teach people how to, um, train tellers, how to train management, when to do meetings, how to go to quarterly meetings, and then we have, like, a set system for in these months we're going to do Medicare seminars, in these months we're going to do business entity discussions, or we're going to do Social Security, retirement planning. So to just be in there is great, but then you need to have the systems and processes in place to say, okay, I'm going to do these certain things these months, and I'm going to every new employee that comes on, I'm going to go train that employee. And usually, I'm very upfront with the bank or the credit union. I tell them, look, if you're not on board with marketing, if you're not on board with us talking to your employees, then it probably won't work because you have to have them on board. They have to want to market.
Yeah.
And typically, their marketing person, they want to market because they don't have anything to market besides interest rates. And so they're all over it, you know? And so I was going to give you an example of the guy I was talking about earlier who was in the credit union that grew from 300 to 800 million. Just this year, he'll make $2.4 million inside of that credit union. And he'll over the last 10 years, he's probably made over $15 million in just one credit union.
Okay, I don't know who doesn't want to go ahead and just connect with Matt at this point. They're obviously not being able to go into real depth with this, but obviously, if they want to connect with you and things of that nature, they'll be able to do that. And you're, hey, you're giving away the farm, so I'm not sure who wouldn't want to go ahead and be involved with that. Matt, tell us how folks can get in contact with you if they want to get this information. What do they need to do?
If you want to just either call me 636 248 8172 or email me, it's just Matt at Frank, F is in Frank, the number two family, F2family.com.
Matt, thanks so much for being here with us today, man. I really appreciate what you're about to do for our industry. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for the time.